Hello world, you can call me Big Bacher, and I'm here to show you my way to progress a character. We will focus on getting a strong PvE build for you to use. Following this guide, you will be farming tier 7 mobs, or doing tier 6 solo dungeon maps. With a little luck, you will be able to farm these high tier mobs in under 2 hours. These mobs are important due to the amount of fame and silver they give. I will also try my best to not make this an ABC guide and explain choices that I make. So if you're ready, let's begin and develop your way, or you can follow this guide. After creating your character and hitting enter world, this is your first time, you will be sent to the tutorial area. Now there isn't much to this area. The cove has all the essentials you will need and learn about while running through the quest line. I'm not going to take too much time to explain, as the quest line will explain all the buildings and uses. Just do your best to finish and complete the tutorial missions. Shouldn't take more than 15 to 20 minutes to finish up all the missions and move on to the mainland. Here are a few tips to speed things up. When you get to the gathering part of the quest line, and if you wish to follow this guide exactly, then gather the following. If you wish to make your own build, then the Destiny board is a good place to start to find some info about weapon and armor abilities. My general tips for making solo builds: first is do not use heavy armor. You need the extra damage bonus from either leathers or cloth armor in order to clear mobs fast. Second, in terms of what weapons to use, there are definitely weapons that outshine others. Albion is a game where you want to bring the right tools for the job. So some of my recommendations for solo PvE weapons are Nature Staff and Torch. This is the weapon used in this guide. Second would be the Light Crossbow, another strong mob killing weapon and semi-decent PvP weapon. Third is Spiked Gauntlets, with a very strong E for fast clear. Last but not least, the Spear and Torch, a jack of all trade weapons that is decent and a lot of content. Upon reaching the quest where you have to make tier 2 gear and you have gathered the material that was shown earlier, you will then make the following: tier 2 novice bow and tier 2 novice cloth armor. If you are making your own build, then the material costs can be found at the crafting stations or on the Destiny board. Also note that light crossbow and spike gauntlets cannot be made at tier 2. If you wish to use these weapons, then you will need to use the sword until both Journeyman Warrior is full, and then you will use the Journeyman's crossbow and Journeyman's Brawler Glove until War Glove Fighter or Crossbow Fighter is unlocked. One last tip for the cove: make sure you craft a bag and get 2 mules from the marketplace. You should be able to hold 2 mules with a bag without it affecting your movement speed. You buy these when you get the quest called Distraction. When this quest is completed, you will pick where to move and what town you will spawn at. In this example, we'll be heading to Swamp Cross. As soon as you enter town, you want to talk to these 2 guys. This marks the end of the tutorial and you will be given 3 days of premium. Now the chance of getting enough silver for a month of premium is low, and as of this video it will cost around 12 million silver and is expected to go higher. Next goal now is to hit Journeyman Hunter and Journeyman Cloth Armor Fighter. This can be done easily by killing the mobs located in this area. It should only take around 4 mobs to hit the learning point level of each piece of equipment. You want to use up learning points in order to hit tier 3 faster. Then make your way to the southeast exit to enter the main city Thetford. The first thing you need to do is visit the repairman, reason being you can't sell broken stuff on the marketplace. Which you need to head there right after, since we need to upgrade our gear to tier 3. Now at this point you can sell it all. Just hold on to 1 mule and your bag and cape. This includes your tier 2 weapons and armor. I would hold on to the food since it is a little useful for the next part. You will also need to buy a journeyman's robe, journeyman's sandals, journeyman's cowl, and for the weapon pick up tier 3 nature staff and a tier 3 torch. You will see how fast this can clear and how to stay safe in the PvP zone. We will start farming tier 5 black zone to quickly get to tier 4 gear. Feel free to pick any zone that is a tier 5 zone. You can check by opening the map. Now with this being full loot PvP, you will lose all your gear when another player kills you. I'll tell you some tips to survive the black zone. I'm gonna flash forward ahead to show you what are some things you can do when you encounter other players. The first thing I want to show is the inspect key. Now for me, the key binding is set to my mouse. This key binding lets you see what players have equipped and shows the average IP. After inspecting this player, I decided to move away since he has IP advantage and a decently strong solo build. I returned back to the mob gap looking to grab the kills when he appears again. Now a big weakness of this build is the AoE that stays on the ground. When a player walks over your AoE, it will put you in combat and mark you as outlaw. When you're in combat, you cannot zone out. My first mistake was not mounting back up upon seeing the red name appear on screen, causing me to be dismounted. My second mistake was not punishing him for dismounting so close to me. When a player dismounts like that and you're on the ground, you have around 5 seconds before his abilities are ready to use. Instead, I focused way too hard on the mob, and this causes me to have my first death. Death is crippling early on. Without having a huge stockpile of silver, each death is a sting to your bank account. But in the end, the risk is worth it to be in these PvP zones, and each death is a learning experience. Now you're looking to get enough fame to wear tier 4 armor and use tier 4 weapons. It should only take a few mobs to reach, since these are tier 5 mobs. As soon as you see the learning point threshold come up, again use your learning point to achieve tier 4. After hitting tier 4, you should go back and buy tier 4 weapons and armor, but our build here will change a bit. For your weapons, you want to grab tier 4 nature staff and torch. Now our armor is going to change to the following: tier 4 cleric robe, tier 4 mage cowl, tier 4 scholar sandals. Make sure to grab all the damage passes on the armor. If you have the silver, you can get a tier 3 horse, some tier 6 stew for extra damage, and tier 4 poison pots. Now from here on out, this build will not change. The only differences from now on will be either enchantment levels or tier levels. Now from here on out, you're gonna focus on killing mobs in the open world. If you see at least 2 grouped together, kill them. Hell, there are points in time where I kill just 1. Mobs that are glowing are definitely worth the time to kill, due to the increased fame and silver they give. There is no big secret to farming these mobs. No tricks that will let you farm faster. This is plain, simple, straightforward. You see mobs, you kill mobs. When you hit tier 6 Reaver, it will be time then to go back and re-gear. Now that we have tier 4 gear, we have other options to upgrade our gear. You can upgrade your gear using runes, souls, and relics. Since we want to have tier 5 equivalent gear, we will need to buy 384 runes to enchant our gear. Make sure you double check to see if it is cheaper to upgrade this way. After buying the runes, simply head to the artifact foundry, hit the enchant tab, and enchant each piece of gear you have. Open your map and look for the nearest tier 6 zone. With tier 6 Reaver unlocked, we are more than able to farm tier 6 mobs. Now these shrines near the exit you're gonna want to take. These shrines make you invisible for a good amount of time and will help prevent you from getting ganked while making your way towards these zones. Now the last leg of the journey. Sadly, in terms of loot, there was not a whole lot of drops, but it was enough to get to this point. As you guessed it, you will farm tier 6 mobs until hitting tier 7 Reaver. I did end up getting a bit bored and headed to a tier 7 zone for the last bit to hit tier 7 Reaver. Now like the last time, there is no secret fast fame method. You simply find a clump, group them up, and farm them up. Keep your mount close and farm fast to help reduce your chance of being ganked. Now at this point, you may be looking at ways to earn silver. As you can see, the amount of silver we have is low. This is not enough to really start investing into anything, as the returns will be too small. You could gather, but due to low specs, the income amount will be low and higher specs can make more. PvP is also not really an option, as I don't feel that this build is great for it. I found that doing 6.1 solo dungeons while faction flagging red zones to be a decently consistent source of silver. Plus, they are easy to do with our spec and build, and somewhat safe to do since you can wait 90 seconds to make sure that the entrance closes outside. Now I know that solo dungeons have a bad reputation, as I see on the forums and on Reddit people tend to shit all over them. But of course the main thing that will affect this form of income is how fast you can clear. Since the faster you can clear means the more chests you can open in hopes that you can get those few big chests that make it worth running these. Now for 6.1 solo maps, I'm gonna bring tier 6 equivalent gear and a more sturdy mount. You're more than welcome to keep using your tier 5 gear to help keep your costs down, but clearing will take a bit longer then. I also wouldn't bother with bringing an expensive cape like Thetford or any other, really, due to the cost. In total, I ran about 6 maps. It seemed that luck was on my side. I will show you the 3 biggest chests I got along with the 3 smallest chests. At the end of these 6 maps, I have reached 1 million silver. Also keep in mind the amount of tokens being made, as this was done during the 20% extra faction token days, and thus you will make a bit less in tokens. So I will consider this a somewhat lucky run. Now with 1 million silver, you can use that to start investing. The first thing you should invest in is creating buy orders for your current set. Generally, you'll want to have about an extra 2 to 3 sets, and it will save you silver if you get them with buy orders. I would personally also try to do some refining with tier 2, tier 3, tier 4, tier 4.1 materials. Now I'm not gonna lie and say that since you see the estimated silver value go up, that you made that much silver. Now if you do this, keep track of the price you buy the material and the price you sell them at. Profits won't be as huge as the estimated silver value shows, and your profit will be even lower if you sell them right away. But I do find it relaxing to move material and to break up the hours of farming mobs. I hope you find my way and my tips useful. If any of these tips helped you out, let me know in the comments below. I also posted the video of the full run if you want to watch and comment on some of the things I do in there. I also have a link to my Twitch down below, as I plan to do live streams as I try to help my future wife set out into the world of Albion Online. I hope to bring more content and have some great fun with you, the Albion Online and gaming community. Until then, watch out for reds and stay safe.